I'm really excited today to be joined by Craig Unger, and he has a new book out called Den of Spies. And let me tell you, this is one of those topics that has been interesting me for a very long time, and I read your book with interest. Craig, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
First of all, let's set the stage for what the Den of Spies actually is.
It's a spy thriller, but it's a real-life spy thriller. And it's about a covert operation that took place in 1980 during the presidential election. And it's been controversial for many, many years. I've been on and off the story for more than 3 decades. And I believe I finally really put together a spy story of how it happened. This is a secret, treasonous covert operation that sabotaged an American presidential election. And it was the foundation of the birth of modern conservatism. This is the birth of the Reagan era in 1980, just after Iran had seized 52 American hostages.
So to give the listeners a little bit more context, we have the Iranian hostage crisis at the tail end of the Jimmy Carter presidency. So the thrust of a Den of Spies is this secret plan to make sure that the hostages would not get released during the Carter presidency, right? And the motivation is to get Ronald Reagan elected.
If Carter can bring the hostages home, he'll be seen as a hero just before the election, and presumably that would push him over the top. And the Republicans know that, and they're going to do everything they can to stop it, but they can't appear to stop it. And what I report is what was really going on behind the scenes.
Whose idea was it to begin negotiating with Tehran and saying, you know what, no matter what they do, don't release the hostages? Who came up with this plan?
The campaign manager for Ronald Reagan was Bill Casey. To my mind, he's one of the greatest master spies in American history. He's dazzlingly brilliant. I describe him as sort of a cross between James Bond and Mr. Magoo. And yet secretly, he was incredibly effective and had a real secret intelligence team that could sell weapons to Iran, a hostile foreign power that was embargoed, while on the other hand, he was running a presidential campaign.
So in your mind, Bill Casey is the mastermind behind this plan, which he believes is like sort of the golden ticket to ousting Carter and getting Reagan elected. How much was Reagan involved in this?
Truman's slogan, of course, was "the buck stops here." Reagan's slogan was, "I didn't hear that." So it's very hard to prove exactly what Reagan knew. There was some evidence, though. The former governor of Texas, John Connally, took a trip to the Middle East and he visited various foreign leaders. I have a photo of him in my book with Anwar Sadat of Egypt. And he was telling all of them, look, Iran shouldn't release the hostages. They should keep them till after the election. Connally later wrote a letter to Nancy Reagan. So it's certainly suggestive that Ronald Reagan may well have known about it, and he certainly knew about it in broad terms.
Well, he had to have known that something was going on, because it's not like, his speech moments into his presidency where he's announcing the release. Wouldn't it have occurred to him, like, how did we do that? How did this happen?
The satirical magazine, The Onion, had an end-of-the-century book for the 20th century. And for that day, they had a fake headline saying, Reagan inaugurated, urges America not to put 2 and 2 together.
Certainly kicked off his presidency on an upward trajectory. Like, wow, we really did the right thing by electing him. It certainly set the stage for American opinion of him, right?
Absolutely. That's why I think it's so important for people to understand the truth. I mean, imagine bribing a hostile foreign power not to release American hostages.
Why is it important that America grapple with the sort of more dark aspects of our past? Why is that something that's incumbent upon us to do now?
Those who don't remember the past are doomed to repeat it. And you see it again and again with the October surprise, that it happened in 1980. It happened before that. We never acknowledge it. It was swept under the rug. When I was investigating it for Newsweek, it was quashed, and it never became part of our shared history. We can't go on accepting these lies or we will keep repeating the mistakes of the past. And I think that's why the book is so relevant today, is that we've got to learn from the past. And if we don't, we're going to be in real trouble.